I will bring you back with me to when I was 13 years old. I'm riding a bicycle. A car cuts a light, hits me on the bicycle, sends me up into the air. I come down through another car's windshield. That car stops, sends me flying into oncoming traffic. I hit the ground, and my left leg is shattered, and it's facing me. The bones are sticking out of the leg. Now, the reason why I'm making this so graphic is so you understand what I went through to get where I am. So the leg is facing me, bones sticking out of the leg. The hospital is a block and a half away. It took them 20 minutes to get to me, and then 7 hours to deal with me. When I was in the hospital waiting for them to attend to me, I asked the doctor that was passing to get my leg out of my face. By the time that they reached me and started dealing with me, they said that my leg had already started to die and that gangrene is setting in and that they will amputate it. When I was out in the street, I saw myself in a wheelchair on the sidewalk looking at myself in the street. And I realized that that was my new reality. That I was going to be crippled in a wheelchair, and every single day I would come around the corner from where I live to look at the spot where I was hit. In the hospital, they said there's no chance of this leg being recovered. And everyone around me felt that and knew that. That was the reality. But for me, that was not an option. And what I want to express to you today is that it doesn't matter what reality says. It doesn't matter what the people around you say. It doesn't matter what society says. It doesn't matter what your culture says. It doesn't matter what your race says. It doesn't matter what your sex says. All of these things have been inundated upon us as structures and things for us to believe in, things for us to act based on. But there's something deeper inside of us. There's something deeper that moves us, that is really who we are. It's unidentifiable. It's inexplicable. But you can articulate from this space. And in that articulation and in that decision, you can sculpt your world. Now, granted, there are a myriad of distractions outside that say that you don't have this power and you don't have this ability. And then they have like all of these layers of what they say it is. Personal power, God, spirit, the soul, reality. I'm here to tell you that it's none of these. These are all identifiers. The reason why I call what I do the philosophy of nothing is because you don't need anything. You don't need anything. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you need. But the things around you are telling you that you don't. Even here in spirituality, religion says that you don't. Everyone is telling you that you need something. What you could do is listen. When you listen to yourself, you guide yourself. It's not about some God outside of you. It's not about me or anybody else presenting or telling you anything. You know what's right for you. And that may change in the next moment. You are constantly changing. You're constantly in flux. This universe is expanding exponentially. Now we think, because we're humans, that we're surrounded by all this stuff. But all this stuff is made of nothing. 96% of what we deal with in this universe is abstract. It isn't even there. 4% is what we call everything. In that hospital bed, in the middle of the pain, the throbbing pain, imagine getting kicked in the shin like 7,000 times constantly. In between that pain, there was a silence. When you wake up, before you go to bed, as you're dreaming, in between the spaces of rhythm, in between the spaces of moment, there's silence. Even when you lose your keys, you're like, where are my keys at? You're looking, oh, forget it. Boom! There it is. In that space is where the power is. So as the doctors were waiting to x-ray me to decide where they're going to cut my leg at, I stayed in that silence, and I made a decision that I was going to reformat everything back to the way that it was. I grew up in a very adverse climate in Brooklyn, New York. A little boy in Brooklyn, New York, everything around me told me that I didn't have any power. My family, my friends, society. I changed all of that. And it's in those silent places that I saw the difference, that I saw that it could be something else. And I'm not here to give you anything. I'm not here to sell anything. You're already there. All I do is turn you back on yourself. All I do is make you aware that you already know. Anything that you want, anything that you need, and I know you've heard this before, is inside of you. Now, what does that mean, inside? Where, with bones, flesh? There's space there. In between everything, there's space. And that's where the power is. I thought it was prayer. I thought it was magic. I thought it was mysticism. I thought it was all these different things. But in that silence, I make decisions. And as I make those decisions, as I set my intent, as I move from the certainty, reality reveals itself. And what is reality? It is a mirror of what I say. It is a mirror of what I think. It is a mirror of what I feel. It is a mirror of the actions that I take. And that little 13-year-old boy, on some level, he knew this. And he heard this because he did not make that decision to be crippled. And imagine that. This leg staring you in the face, and a vision of yourself in a wheelchair and everybody around you saying that you'd be crippled. I don't buy anything that I see. Another reason why I call it the philosophy of nothing. I don't believe anything. I don't even believe in myself. I know that I think, that I feel, and as I do that, reality does what I ask it to do. Does what I think, does what I feel. And it's the same for you. You don't need anybody other than yourself. What I do is I just turn you back in on yourself. Turn you back in on your own awareness, your own inclinations. It's not about belief. It's not about faith. It's not about prayer. It's about what you're prepared to do. I remember this song from The Temptations, Bowl of Confusion. And in the song, there's a line that says, "Vote for me, and I'll set you free." Vote for me, and I hope you realize you already are. Thank you.